we're moving into a time frame in the spirit that is very new for many, many people. We're seeing, economic crises looming. We've had a pandemic. The whole world has been shut down. We are seeing, the rise and fall of great powers, the whole tumult in the current world superpower of the United States, the rise of Asia. All these things are happening in our lifetime. But we are in the world, but not of the world. And we are trying to equip people to how to navigate this new spiritual time frame. And has the Lord been speaking to you? What wisdom, what nuggets, what biblical understanding do you have for what the Spirit is actually saying to the church in this hour?
Okay, so if I can, if it takes me a little while to answer that question, is that okay? Just because
That's a big question, actually.
I have,
So
yeah.
you can take your time.
So if we think about the story of the transition from Saul to David, 1,000 years before Jesus shows up, we're told that the 12 tribes that were beginning to lean towards a change, of them, 200 of the chief elders of the tribe of Issachar, while they're named in the order of the tribes, they actually lead the delegation and they speak first. And they are those that are part of what was called, they were the sages. They were the scholarly tribe that understood the times and knew what to do. So when we think of that phrase, understanding the times, it's plural. It's plural because God is a God who created time for us to function, and God is beyond time, and yet God is in time. He's God, we're not. So we experience time as past, present, and future. And both scripture and secular history and socialists, not socialists, social theorists from the time of the ancient Greeks understood history to move in cycles and in spirals. So that kind of like a spiral staircase, so that while history doesn't repeat itself, there are conditions that recycle to go to different dimensions of possibility as change comes. And the tribe of Issachar, these were, they're the donkey that protects the sheep. They're Judah's donkey. And they understood not just the movement of the stars in terms of sowing, reaping, harvesting, gathering, when to plant, when to pluck up, all of that. But they also studied the history of the nation of Israel from its nomadic days with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through its course in enslavement in Egypt, to the time of its deliverance, its wilderness wanderings, until the time it becomes a tribal confederacy, and it goes through those cycles of they were blessed and then they rebelled. And so all these cycles repeat until we get to this pivotal moment. The fulcrum is the house of Eli is corrupt, and there's going to be a change of priesthood. So it's not just the house of Eli, the entire Aaronic priesthood is going to be shaken, because God is going to put an end to the house of Eli. And that's going to work itself out over the course of generations. And it is clear that governance is about to change. And so the sons of Issachar understood that a governmental shift was essential. And based on the historic cycles, they were the ones that said, it's time for David to take his place. And they recognized Samuel as this prophetic figure that is a transitional prophetic figure in the tradition of Moses, but in a time where Moses is designed to bring them to the land, Samuel is designed to teach them about the kingdom and establish a kingdom reality so that David can take the throne. But the first king was the people's choice. The second one is going to be God's choice. And so what we have there is the prophetic tribe of Issachar takes a look at, they learn from the past so they can identify the present and then lean into the future. And I think we would do well to learn from the past so we can identify the present and lean into the future. The book of Revelation says that which was, that which is, and that which is to come. So those cycles continue from the beginning all the way to the end.
Okay, I just have to pause right there because that is so profound. And I believe you're making analogies to our current time from a biblical prototype.